The Oxnard coast of California, known for its beautiful coastline, vibrant culture, and dynamic community, hundreds of thousands of residents call this breathtaking corner of California's Central Coast home. But looming over this bustling community is the untold story of a quiet threat: black carbon air pollution, also known as soot or diesel particulate matter. This often invisible pollutant is linked to the burning of biomass and fossil fuels in transportation, shipping, manufacturing, and other industries, causing significant climate and public health impacts. The cities of Oxnard and Port Hueneme are largely industrial, boasting many thriving industries, busy transportation corridors, and commercial use spaces, contributing to a complex local pollution landscape. But beyond understanding the quantities, sources, and impacts of these pollutants, we must also center the voices of those most impacted by air pollution in order to create effective and impactful solutions. The local community is drawing on their lived experience and expertise, rising to meet this moment by coming together to expand black carbon air pollution monitoring in Oxnard and Port Hueneme.
Hi, my name is Manuel Herrera, and I am a member of the Community Advisory Committee for our Black Carbon Air Monitoring Project. I have lived in Oxnard my entire life, which is 67 years. And prior to joining this committee, I was actually unaware of any problems with pollution until I saw the data. So I had to ask myself, if I, who consider myself a well-informed citizen, didn't know about black carbon pollution in Oxnard and Port Hueneme, then I'm sure there are many, many more residents who didn't know either. Oxnard and Port Hueneme have a total of 9 designated disadvantaged communities, most of which experience asthma and cardiovascular disease at a 60% higher rate than other California communities. La Colonia is one of these communities, which is where I grew up. These majority Latino communities also are exposed to some of the highest rates of pollution in the state, creating a landscape of inequality. People like you and me who live, work, and play in these communities need a seat at the table when decisions are made that impact our environment and our health. We are the experts in our communities. We know how pollution harms our families, friends, and neighbors, and we live with these impacts every day. That makes our voices all the more important when it comes to creating solutions toward a healthier and safer future.
Funded by the Federal Environmental Protection Agency, this community air quality monitoring project has been executed in partnership by the Port of Hueneme, the Ventura County Air Pollution Control District, Climate First, Replacing Oil and Gas, Sea Frog, and California State University Channel Islands, and guided by a community advisory committee of local leaders, community members, elected officials, and nonprofit partners, with the goal of increasing data collection to enact real pollution reduction strategies. So what is black carbon? Where does it come from? And why should we care about it? Black carbon, or BC for short, is a form of pollution made up of a cluster of different pollutants produced by the incomplete burning of fossil fuels such as oil, diesel, and coal, biofuels like biodiesel and ethanol, and biomass like wood and charcoal. Black carbon particles are small and dark, capable of absorbing sunlight, which contributes to global warming, climate change, and causes negative impacts. Significant sources of black carbon include the transportation sector, including diesel trucks, passenger cars and buses, school buses, and trash trucks; biomass burning, which includes emissions such as wildfire smoke, residential cooking and burning, and agriculture burning; and industry pollution from marine shipping vessels, large construction and cargo handling equipment, and train engines. In Oxnard and Port Hueneme, traffic, wildfires, industry, port activity, and more contribute to black carbon pollution. leading to climate warming and adverse health impacts. Black carbon exposure has severe health effects. Breathing in black carbon makes conditions like asthma and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, worse and increases the risk of lung cancer. Black carbon significantly impacts our lungs, throat, heart, blood vessels, and more. Heart attack and stroke have been linked to black carbon exposure. This pollutant's fine particles penetrate deep into the lungs and bloodstream, causing harmful inflammation and swelling. Children and elderly people are at even a higher risk of negative health impacts.
Growing up in Oxnard, we would notice a lot of things that we notice so many different sources of pollution. So there's the paper mills, there's, pollution from the port, there is the airport that I grew up next to, and there's the fields that, surround the entire community and they spray pesticides. My name is Alex Matanona. I'm also a member of the Community Advisory Council for the Black Carbon Monitoring Project. I grew up in Oxnard and moved away to get an education in science and, came back to use that education to help my community. I remember when I was growing up and I was in football practice and we would go running, and there were certain days that I would just wheeze and have trouble and difficulty breathing. And when you start hearing about all the different effects from these different emitting sources, then you see diesel trucks drive by your high school and diesel trucks leaving the port, and they're crossing down the freeway, and you see that it's not just like the major big polluters, it's all the different transportation that affects us as well. Those types of things really stick out, and this is why it's so important to have air monitors that actually can pick up this type of pollution.
Low income and communities of color, like many in Oxnard and Port Hueneme, bear the brunt of health impacts from black carbon. Due to political, economic, and racial inequalities, these communities often reside near industrial zones and busy roadways, increasing exposure to harmful pollutants in the air. Because of this, these communities experience higher rates of asthma, heart diseases, cancers, and other serious health concerns than communities with less pollution. By monitoring levels of black carbon in densely populated and highly congested areas of Oxnard and Port Hueneme, this project is increasing community awareness, access, and understanding of local air quality data.
We chose these monitoring sites because they're close to heavily traffic corridors. So it's the 101 freeway and vulnerable communities that are close to where all the diesel trucks go through. So in order for us in the community to understand what is affecting our health and our families and our loved ones, we need to have the skills, tools, and knowledge. And this is the reason why I ended up joining the Community Advisory Council. It gives us everything that we need, or at least more tools, so we can understand and protect the lives of our loved ones.
By combining accurate air quality monitoring with inclusive policies, we can drive equitable solutions and healthier outcomes for vulnerable neighborhoods in our communities. Join us in creating a healthier future for Oxnard and Port Hueneme communities. Visit our project website to learn more and get involved.